What else do we have? Iver 3 is just a bit of confusion in between a brathnú air and a bra air. Okay, so it's a great example if we take the roots. The root of the first one is going to be brathnú, and the root of the second one is just going to be bra. So it's a good example of long verb versus short verb, but the first syllable of each is spelled almost exactly the same. So firstly, with brathnú, and the verbal noun is brathnú, and those are the two things you need to know with any verb, guys, because once you have the root, unless it's an irregular, and most verbs aren't, once you have the root, you can conjugate it into any tense, and then once you have the verbal noun, you have the continuous and the infinitive, so you have everything really you need, apart from maybe the verbal adjective, which again, with enough experience, you can kind of figure out. It'll always be T vowel or TH vowel at the end. Ceannaithe, for example, for bot, jainta, brishta, glanta, and so on. But let's not go too far down that rabbit hole. Brathnú is going to mean principally to watch, so it's just an alternative for feach, okay? And always used with the air, like feich. So you can even think about it as brathnú air. Brathnú me air an telefish, I watched the television. Tá mé chun brathnú ar rud éigin, I'm gonna watch something. So that's the verbal noun, to watch. Ag brathnú air, watching in the continuous. Okay, but a bra, and we'll get back to brathnú because it can also mean something else, but a bra principally is going to mean one of two things. If it's used with the air, it's going to mean to depend. Tá mé bra ar rud éigin eile, I'm depending on something else. Okay, tá mé bra ar rud éigin eile. Or it can also mean to feel, as in how we feel. So in other words, an alternative to muhi. If I'm just saying, whatever, braham guma, I feel good. Okay, so again, brathnú we've got for watch, like brathnú ar rud éigin, let's say with the verbal noun, and then short verb, bra, just by itself, for feel. Ra me gahintach, I felt great, but equally then with the air, it's going to mean to depend, like we would have in English, to depend on someone. So to make bra ar chuna éigin. One small thing as well, sometimes brathnú can be used for look or watch. Well, look principally in terms of how someone is looking. Oh, you're looking good, tá brathnú guma. Not used that much really, often you'd use cuma, tá cuma earth, something like that. But it can be used in that way as well. So like in English, I can use look for I'm looking at the camera, but also the camera is looking good, or someone is looking good, you'd normally say, unless you're trying to compliment a camera. So just be careful, it can be used for that as well, but hopefully when you hear that, because it's kind of works the same as English, that won't be too difficult. Anyway, the main thing is the difference between the long verb and the short verb there, in between brathnú and bra. Next one is another Ulster one. A lot of people